What is very interesting about the readings this time of year is how they reveal very practical realities about what it means to be church. So after the resurrection, as a part of the plan, Jesus is going to work through us ultimately, but he's going to start with this small group of disciples. And with the help of prayer, they would decide who goes where. They would decide who does what. And so if we think about it, since then, the universal church has been doing that. The local church, which means the archdiocese, has been doing that. And every parish has been doing the same thing in some way. So we think about our current needs and we make plans to utilize our resources in the best way we can, all in order to continue the mission and the ministry for bringing the good news to others. And for the last couple of years, we've actually been doing that right here in a more intentional way. And so we've been looking at our current needs. We've looking at our resources, and as is so apparent in this beautiful church, that we really want to be good stewards of the generosity of so many generations of parishioners. So for the last 165 years, Assumption really has been an important presence in St. Paul, and really a strong influence for the whole local church. So this weekend, put on your seatbelts, we are announcing two fairly significant or very significant projects that will help us stay strong and become even stronger as a parish. So those on our mailing list may have received a mailing already. If not, it will arrive soon. If you're on our email list, you'll get an email on Monday explaining more about these projects and giving you an opportunity to give us some input so that we can make plans accordingly. So what are these two initiatives? So the first project that we are working on is purchasing the corner parking lot over there. So if you're watching on the video, if I point over there, it means parking lot. And so many people think we already own it, but we don't. We own the retail building. I'll come back to that, and how we own that. We purchased that a couple of years ago. But the owners of this parking lot have been very generous to us for really 20 plus years, maybe 30. So they've allowed us free parking, adjacent parking, for the weekend masses. And if you don't park them, you're glad other people do because it means there's another spot somewhere. But they had some big plans about 4.5 years ago. They were going to purchase that whole lot, both the retail building, which is a different owner, and the lot, and they were going to build a 5 to 6 story apartment/hotel. So that would have been like right out our door. So we proposed something different. We said, how about we just buy your lot and you find another place to buy with more space for your hotel? So that didn't work. They didn't go for that. But we did have an opportunity a couple of years later with our good relationship with who owned the building to buy that retail building. And now we're waiting for the leases to expire. That was part of the agreement. And so they sold it to us. So that prevented the big building right outside our door and having to compete for more parking for the big building. So that was good news. But now, late last year, they came to us and they said, well, we're ready to sell. And so we've been negotiating to purchase that. So the plan is that will be really a beautiful piece of our block. We'll have the whole block So we'll be this beacon of light in St. Paul. You see the rest of the campus and how beautiful we can make it, but we can make the parking even more convenient, but also add loveliness in beautifying that, so that everyone's experience, whether new or whether you've been coming for years, will just be that much more positive. But we don't know if we don't get that lot, someone else does. So we don't know what they're going to do with it. So it's a pretty appropriate time for us to make a move. And that's what we're going to do. That's Project 1. Project 2 is the historic school building. So if I point over that way, it means historic school building. So that's one of the oldest, it's the second oldest building in St. Paul, and it is the first or the oldest school in St. Paul, still standing. And you may not even notice it, but it's deteriorating. But we also know that we need space. We have great space downstairs, but that doesn't work for everything. So if we wanted to have space for maybe for smaller groups or smaller programming, we just don't have the space, especially if there's a funeral or a wedding. But more importantly, another trigger is we have been educating, or religious education has been down at St. Mary's. So if you've had kids in the program, or you currently do, you go down to Lower Town, and we use their old school. Well, we think it's important to bring those families back so we can connect the young people of our parish and those families to the parish experience. And then it's easier to pop over and see how our people are doing. But we really think we have an opportunity to continue to be strong through a vibrant confirmation program and a faith formation program, and we think having them on campus will do just that. So we need to fix it anyways. It has great bones, and if you think about it, restoring it so it doesn't deteriorate, but making that inside beautiful. We can make up to 9 classrooms, but it'll be versatile space so we can use it for other things. It's got a big, great room up on top. And it's just going to be another source of life and for the parish. And so both of those are significant, but this is the time for both. Partly because St. Mary's has different, I guess they're that way. So if I point that way, it's St. Mary's. They have different, oh wait, they're over here too. They have some plans for their student or for their school building. So we only have use of that space for 1 more year. But all of these things we hope will really be a positive momentum for meeting our current needs, but also looking to the future. Right now, parking is important to us, so you can feel safe and feel positive about coming here. Who knows what the next generation will need, but we'll have the block. Maybe we can have a block party, a real block party then. Not like Basilica, but our own. But the school building, too, will allow us to connect to our history more strongly. We've got such treasures of pictures and so much memorabilia to connect these kids to the past, to connect us to the past, and really make it a very cool space. With sidewalks and landscaping, that building will really appear like a more integral part of this campus. So between the two, we're excited. Now, believe it or not, it costs money. So how are we going to do it? Well, we've gotten some initial commitments from donors, which has been great. And we have some ability, looking at our own resources, that we have $2 million to commit to this. The estimated cost is closer to $6 million. So that's where we're going to need your input. So there's going to be a lot of information you can review, but there's going to be an opportunity to take a very simple survey. Just giving us feedback, but also giving you more of a sense. So our goal is to, over the next couple of years, raise $4 million, which we think we can do it. But boy, what we can do is really set a positive kind of momentum, especially coming out of the pandemic, for the years ahead. So we're excited about it. So again, we've done a lot of homework over the last 4 years, or really the last several months for sure, working with architects, working with construction, working with our lawyers to get purchase agreements, but also the Historical Preservation Society. And so they are excited about this so we can keep that gem alive. So stay tuned. Again, from the very beginning of church, the Christians have been figuring out what to do with what we have. And we think this is the time between this opportunity for adjacent parking and on this building. Now is the time, and again, we need your input. So open your mail, open your email, and if you don't do internet, give us a call and we'll send you a very simple paper survey. So all of this is hopefully going to be good news for meeting current needs, but also leaving a wonderful legacy, a wonderful block that will continue to be a beacon here in St. Paul, because we hope to be a strong parish for all the incredible people who come here, whether they do so now or for the generations to come. You can unbuckle your seatbelts. Thanks.